Alright, today I'm going to be reviewing Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald. I miss when movies used to just number their sequels. Why not just call this Fantastic Beasts 2, Fantastic Beasts 3? Instead, they always wanted to come up with some clever name. But anyway, before I get into this review, I gotta tell you my history with the Harry Potter franchise. Now, I have not read the books, but I have watched the movies. I've been to Universal Studios' Harry Potter World. It's very cool. Everyone should check it out. I watched the first Fantastic Beasts movie, and I really liked that one. It was really fun, and I thought it was a very new, exciting direction. However, Fantastic Beasts 2 was really bad. This movie is terrible, and I'm not the only one that thinks so. Currently, this has a 49% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 57 Metascore. That is not good scores. This movie is directed by David Yates, who directed a lot of the previous Harry Potter films. And that is not the problem with this movie, because this movie looks fantastic. The directing is very on point. Also, the soundtrack is on point. It's that classic Harry Potter theme music. Great soundtrack in this. Now, this movie is written by J.K. Rowling herself. So it's not like they got some nobody to write this film. They got the Harry Potter author herself. And I think that's where this movie, it falls apart, is the writing. I don't know exactly what the problem is, but I think J.K. is going too George Lucas-y in this film, trying to do a prequel and connect so much stuff to the Harry Potter films. It becomes overly complicated and incomprehensible. I didn't understand why characters were doing certain things, what their motivations were, who these characters were, how they played in. I'm not a Harry Potter encyclopedia. I don't know how everything connects all together. All I know is I cannot follow this movie. I was bored out of my mind. I had no idea what anybody was doing, what they were doing. I was lost. God, I hated it. I think the problem is they were juggling too many subplots. They would go back in time for like 10, 15 minutes, and then they would come back to the present, and then they would go back in time again and then focus on these other characters. And all of that background stuff didn't really matter to the overall plot, and it just kind of confuses and muddles things. Let's go to the cast. By the way, the cast in this is huge. Seriously, look at this one poster. There's like 1 million people on this. There's way too many people in this movie. Now, Eddie Redmayne is back as our lead protagonist, and he's fine in it. I like some scenes with him. The fun part with Eddie Redmayne's character is when he is working with these crazy beasts, these monsters. There's this one really cute, ginormous dragon cat creature or something, and Eddie Redmayne is like playing with it with this stick he has, and the monster's really cute, and there's lots of fun interactions with that. But let's go on to Johnny Depp's character. Johnny Depp is the villain in this. He plays that Grindelwald guy, and he was kind of not too great in this. I don't know if it was Johnny Depp's fault. I guess it was just that we had no real reason why Johnny Depp was so evil and why everybody wanted to maybe join him in his cause. Jude Law is in this as a younger, sexier Dumbledore, and he was fine in this movie. I liked that younger Dumbledore feel for that character and the way Jude Law played it. We also got Dan Fogler in this. He was the kooky sidekick for Eddie Redmayne's character in the first film. And I think he was still fun in this, but it was kind of like, why are you here in this movie? You have no real motivation to be hanging out and getting in all these dangerous situations. Why don't you just go home at this point? Finally, there's so many characters, I didn't even understand who they were. Katherine, Waterston, Ezra Miller, Zoe Kravitz. I had no idea what the deal with these characters were, what their motivations were, what they were up to, and I didn't really care to pay attention to learn. Also, I found this movie was kind of long, maybe just because I wasn't having a good time, but it's 2 hours and 14 minutes, and as we were nearing the end, when we were around the 2-hour mark, I was getting kind of worried because I was like, they're not on the path to wrapping this film up. Johnny Depp's character is still out there, and then that's when I found out that this was a trilogy and not just a sequel, so they were not going to actually end the storyline in this movie. We're going to have to go watch another movie to get the ending to this story. So that just made it all the more excruciatingly annoying because I wanted the story to wrap up. And because the threat wasn't answered in this movie, the stakes were very low because they didn't really get there where they were supposed to be going to. So that makes it all the more frustrating. If you are more of a casual Harry Potter fan, then I think you are going to hate this movie because it is not casual Harry Potter friendly. It is not good for that audience. Now, if you are a Harry Potter superfan, you've read the books, you have a pretty good encyclopedic knowledge of everything, and you get all the Easter eggs of how all these characters are tying into the Harry Potter films, maybe you'll get more out of this and maybe you'll really like it. Maybe those people will enjoy it. However, I have a feeling some of those people, their expectations are going to be really high, and this movie is not going to meet those expectations, so they may come out very disappointed as well. I'm going to give this film a 6 out of 10. There is lots of bad stuff in this. The writing is bad. But, I mean, it's still a fun world, and it still looks really great. So there is some things to get out of this movie, but really, this is not a good film.